Hey guys, it's Pictureman2001 back with another video, and today I thought I would show you all my widescreen VHS tapes. Yeah, so widescreen, like these are all widescreen, sort of widescreen special edition tapes. Like I don't think I have any of these, but ones that don't count are tapes that were only ever put out in widescreen. Like movies that were ever only put out in widescreen. But the Lord of the Rings extended editions, which will be the last ones you'll see on here, those are still included because they're special editions. Like the theatrical cut was in full screen on VHS, the extendeds were in widescreen, so it's kind of counts, yeah. But if a movie was only ever released on VHS in widescreen, like Alien versus Predator, which I don't have, or like some of the ones like the Aladdin Platinum Edition, something like that, then those don't count. So, but I will show some tapes here. So first up, I'm just going by sort of the movie or movie franchise at least release date. Series, whatever. This is Thunderball. This is from the James Bond 007 collection. Now down here it says Deluxe Letterbox Edition. I actually got this in a set. It was the 7 Sean Connery movies plus a bonus tape behind the scenes of Goldfinger Thunderball. I know there was a set though that had those, didn't have that extra tape, but it had all the Connerys, plus it also had On Her Majesty's Secret Service and Live and Let Die. Then I think they had the rest of them in another set, like Man with the Golden Gun, Spy Who Loved Me, Moonraker, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, View to a Kill, Living Daylights, License to Kill, yeah, all those sort of movies. But yeah, this is, these were all, I think, released from GoldenEye. Now on the back it still says, this film has been modified from its original version that has been formatted to fit this screen. Even though this is the letterbox version, because I remember I put it in my VCR, and it is the widescreen version. It doesn't say on the tape, but that's what it is, so. I always thought it was sort of interesting how I've seen other, like how the rest of the ones in the set weren't widescreen, but this one was. I always found that really weird. So I'm showing this. What I also find weird is that, like, I think only a select few of them were put out in widescreen. If anyone knows the full list of them that were put out in widescreen on VHS, or at least just in this format, please let me know. I'm surprised that like GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies weren't actually. It really surprised me. But yeah. I don't think they exist. If they do, they're probably really rare. But I know there's a lot of other ones I think would be cool to have, but that I do have like full screen tapes of. But I'll like some stuff like there's like Jurassic Park 1 and 2, Austin Powers 1 and 2, Ghostbusters, The Mummy, Mission Impossible, like A Bug's Life, Lady and the Tramp, Sleeping Beauty. There's a lot of sort of widescreen tapes that I've been looking to find. Oh, Godzilla, the '98 one. Cliffhanger, Sense and Sensibility. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting ones. So, hopefully I'll get some of those someday. But yeah, this is my collection for now. Next up, we got this nice set. I found this locally for like $15 at a the record store, like a record DVD store owned by my friend Roger Varbian on YouTube. His neighbor runs a store locally that has a lot of this stuff, and I bought this set from his store, along with another Star Wars set you're going to see. But yeah, this is the THX widescreen edition. It's the widescreen edition of that Faces VHS box set. It was the full screen one was like a cube, and I have that, but it was my late cousin's copy. But this one is mine. This is the widescreen version. You can read that if you want. They're talking about the prequels there, like hitting the prequels, which is quite cool. And now I'm going to show Phantom Menace until we get to like the 90s stuff, but I do want to show the original trilogy stuff here first. But this is the things. There's Star Wars, or like basically they're just labeled like this is at the time when they're labeled as Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. That's only what they're called on the posters and stuff, though. Star Wars was originally released on the movie itself, because I know Leonard Maltin, he says like what you should write the movie title as or call it is what it says at the beginning of the film. And I tend to agree that that's a good way to do it. Like Raiders of the Lost Ark, even though the DVD title eventually changed to Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, it always still said on the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is I prefer to call it that. But like Star Wars was originally released as Star Wars, yet in 1981 But basically, when Empire Strikes Back came out, it was released as just The Empire Strikes Back. It wasn't even called Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back. It was just called The Empire Strikes Back, yet on the film itself, it was called Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. And I know they did a double feature re-release of these two in 1981, and this one was retitled on the film Star Wars Episode 4, New Hope. And Return of the Jedi, as it was called in the posters and covers, was actually really called Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. I know that, they basically throughout the 90s and stuff, pretty much all the 90s releases of these, basically every release up until 2000, basically, even though the movies were called, had the newer titles on the, had the titles in the movies, especially because they were originally releases that Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi were always called Episode 5 and 6. They didn't actually have the Episode 4, 5, and 6 on the covers until 2000, so after the Episode 1 came out, they did a VHS set of that, which I have that, but it's full screen. Yeah, but I will show the tapes in here. Actually, let me just check. See if my Thunderball had a print date or anything. Just checking. I don't think it does. She might have a little one. I'm not 100% sure. Nah, that's not a print date. Yeah, but we do have I'll just call it Star Wars because that's what it says on the thing. You can see it says Widescreen Collector's Edition. They look exactly like the ones in the full screen set, the same exact things. Though definitely don't take, if you have both the sets, don't take these out because you might mix them up. There's the they don't say widescreen on the label for some reason. I wish they would. They're the same exact labels as the other ones. Though it's interesting, yeah, like I said, the Star Wars Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. To make it easier for people, they had this set, Star Wars, and then A New Hope underneath. Yet these ones, you'll see, just says The Empire Strikes Back on the cover. But here it says Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. Like, it's like that instead of Star Wars, A New Hope. Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars, Return of the Jedi. Like, it's like sort of, those are the bigger, what they're marketed as is what the bigger title is. I forgot to tell you the print date on my New Hope, or excuse me, Star Wars, as it's supposed to be called here. I don't think there is one, actually. I don't know if these have print dates at all. I haven't watched this set yet. Some of these I haven't put in yet, but I have watched the Laserdisc set that this is sourced from, and it is amazing. So the 1993 Laserdisc set, I do have that. So yeah, that was unfortunately the first version of it that cuts off a few seconds of The Empire Strikes Back. If you didn't see the Empire one, there you go. You can read that. And these are the unaltered versions. Of course, with THX remastering. So apparently people spotted a couple differences. So they're not exactly the same, but for the most part, they're the original versions of the movies without all the special edition stuff. Which I actually don't mind. Maybe because I was born in 2001, so therefore my generation had this. My generation actually was the 2004 special editions. That's what I grew up watching. So I don't mind those changes. We also got this little savings book. This is kind of cool. Micro Machines, Galoob, Kenner toys. I know Kenner used to do a lot of Star Wars toys. Polydata. It's kind of a cool little thing. I know there were two variations of this box set. I know that this one is sort of the what I like. There's the sliding variant, and then there's the shoebox variant. This is the sliding variant, or this is the shoebox variant where the tapes just sort of they're just set in a box right here, side by side. And but there's another one that's a slide thing where it has like this is instead of being like opening. Excuse me. Let me just put it on. There we go. Instead of opening like this one does, see, like that, like instead this whole thing, like this side is like it's a thing that slides out like a little shelf and it has them set in there. So that's kind of cool. I know from the same store, I also bought this. This is the Star Wars Trilogy Special Edition widescreen. This was released in 1997. And again, you'll see it's still labeled as Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi because there was no prequel trilogy yet, so they just marketed them as those. Honestly, I wish they kept doing that, but still, what can you do? Nowadays, I don't even use the episode numbers to market them anymore. I think they just know people know. Widescreen. I know I have the full screen of the set too, the gold one, and I love having both because they match totally. I love how this cover also goes over them because it keeps it, like the ones that all have the tapes covered over completely are in the best condition. Like the boxes aren't, but the tapes inside, like just look at how clean that is. Same with those other the 1995 ones. Those are. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. That was just my mother asking me something. So, yeah. But anyways, these tapes are very pristine. They're very clean and stuff. I always like the gold covers of these, but the silver ones are kind of cool too. Like I remember actually I had my late cousin's copies of the full screen special editions as a kid. Like I took them home too, borrowed them, but they were just the individual tapes, and they were sort of in not as good condition. I remember I later got a copy of the box set at the Halcon, our sci-fi convention here. Then I remember a friend of mine was giving away some VHS tapes, and he had that set, but it was in much better condition, so I took that. But these are the widescreen ones. I got this one. This was, I forget. I think I paid about $10 for this. I'm not 100% sure, but it was interesting. So there's the spine. I know the backs are different on the full screen than they are on the widescreen. But you can. I think it's the same sort of information as on the other one. So this one widescreen. This one actually they labeled the tapes as widescreen. Now this one's to be a Canadian thing, even though it has an FBI warning on it. Because I've seen everyone else's have copies I've seen on YouTube have vertical sticker labels. Here we have horizontal ink labels. The Columbia TriStar tapes are always the reverse. That had horizontal sticker labels in the States, vertical ink labels in Canada. So this type of label is just the position of it was reversed. This was printed on August 20th, 1997. So that's cool. And then here is the Empire Strikes Back special edition. The battle continues. Yeah, I love these covers. They're very nice. This one was printed on, let me just see if I can find it. This one I had to look, August 21st, 1997. I wasn't even born then, that's surreal. Like, yeah. Then here is the Return of the Jedi special edition. Back. Now, I haven't put these in yet. I'm not sure if they have the documentaries at the beginning or not. Or if they're just the trailers for the special editions. I'm not even sure if they have that. I'll have to watch these. So don't tell me in the comments. I'll check them out myself. This, again, was printed August 21st, 1997. So, yeah. As I recall, this set was only in print for 90 days, but at least the full... Not the widescreen is not as common, but the full screen is a very common set. Even the widescreen set is... This is more common than other Star Wars widescreen sets, despite only being in print for about 90 days, I think. They then put it in the moratorium to try to build up hype of Episode 1, and then they re-released the set for what was supposed to be a limited time only, but they kept it in print until the DVD came out, so... Yeah. And the next one is a movie I've never seen, but it's one of my mom's favorite movies, and one of the people saying, you gotta watch. And I will get to it, but I don't know why I haven't seen this. I really gotta watch this. This is Close Encounters of the Third Kind, the collector's edition. This is the third version of the movie, which was made for its 20th anniversary, even though it was really 21, because this version came out in 1998. Though it was probably supposed to be in 1997. There's the spine. This was THX certified. This was, Steven Spielberg movie. I think only 2 Spielberg movies were made at, like, Columbia, or owned by Columbia, Sony, whatever. There was this one, which is a Columbia Pictures film, and then Hook, which was a TriStar Pictures film. I wish that was on widescreen VHS. Yeah, I never understood why they didn't do widescreens of Oliver, Hook, Jumanji, The Dark Crystal, or Labyrinth. Those would have been great widescreen tapes to have. Even an original Annie could have been cool. Probably those ones they just thought were kids' movies. But they treated Ghostbusters the same way, so therefore it's hard to... But that was more of a... Yeah, but Oliver was like a Best Picture winner. That could have been awesome in the widescreen. Anyways, yeah, this is one I know has no previews. I don't think Spielberg really liked having previews on his movies. And, so there's the tape. And this was printed on, let me just check, April 28th, 1998. I love all these Columbia widescreen tapes. They're all sort of matching. They all sort of go together. Except for Men in Black, because that was the first of its kind, and it just sort of looked like the thing. Like its own thing. Like the regular VHS. And then here's a nice set of tapes. This is the Indiana Jones trilogy in widescreen. Now, I bought these two actually at a thrift store years ago, along with a full-screen 1996 Last Crusade for some reason. But I found this one later, so I figured, yeah, I'm just going to have them individually like this. I know that they did have these in a box set. I just happened to find the individual ones instead. They had a box set. It was like sort of darker than the full-screen one, which I do have the full screen set in a box. But I've seen some take the full screen box and they just have a sticker on there that says widescreen edition because they ran out of widescreen boxes or something. Probably wondering why I have Temple of Doom first. You can see chapter 23, 24, and 25 in the Complete Adventures of Indiana Jones. These ones were released around the same time as the Young Indiana, or released on the same day as all the Young Indiana Jones VHS tapes. But they only did 12 of the 22 of those, so there was 10 of those that were not available, so therefore that set remained incomplete until the DVDs came out. Then they had a whole set, and of course, you know I definitely have the DVDs. I've only got 3 Young Indiana Jones VHS tapes, though. I've got the Treasure of the Peacock's Eye, which is one that either everyone has or that everyone decides to get rid of and ends up at every single thrift store you walk into as a VHS collector. Yeah, tell me if you're a VHS collector. Tell me how many times you've been to a thrift store and you've seen that not-for-resale red spine copy of The Adventures of Young Indiana Jones, Chapter 18, Treasure of the Peacock's Eye. I swear I see that at every single thrift store I go into. I do also have, though, the Phantom Train of Doom, which is Chapter 10, and Oganga, the Giver and Taker of Life, which is Chapter 11. I do have those tapes. But the rest of them, I just have the entire DVD set. But back to regular Indy. There's Temple of Doom. I love how all that set matches, too. And I like how the widescreen sort of matches the red spine on the Treasure of the Peacock's Eye not-for-resale tape, though it is a bit lighter. And I know they chose that one to package in with it because it connects to Temple of Doom because they have the Eye of the Peacock diamond at the beginning of this movie. I think it's the Eye of the Peacock, yeah. That's why they chose that. I know that some countries had Phantom Train of Doom as the bonus one, and some countries had Oganga, the Giver and Taker of Life, which, like I said, were the other 2 that I own on VHS. Set in 1935. I love how they have, because it's a PG in US, PG in Canada, I love how they put on the bottom, this film may be too intense for younger children. You think this is one of the movies that spawned the PG-13 rating, so yeah, I was fine with it. I was fine with all these at 8 years old, though. And let's see if this one has a print date. This one is printed on October 11th, 1999. I think these editions are supposed to come on Laserdisc, too, but they never did. Here's Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, or, as I like to just call it, Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it's called Indiana Jones. This is the first release where they called it Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. I remember actually seeing a news article about these releases, and they were saying, don't worry, the movie is still called Raiders of the Lost Ark when you watch it. So, just to reassure everybody. This one is actually rated 14A in Canada. And I've always wondered why this one was 14A, yet this one was PG. I think they should all be PG, personally. Like, there's nothing really... Like, I was 8 years old when I watched this. There was nothing... Well, PG in Canada... They're still PG-13 level in the States. Like, PG in Canada, most PG-13 in US movies are PG in Canada now. I think if this did come out today, it would be PG, but then again, there's the melting face scene, but that's so fake, and so, like, it's amazing just because the story of how they made it is so iconic, makes it not realistic, so, it's pretty gory, but it's special effects. Like, that's why, this movie has, like, these 3 movies, at least, have so many good practical effects, and it shows that practical effects, while they take a lot more money and time, they always end up a better product. Same with, like, I know in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, a lot of those things were practical, like the shrunken head, the blowing up of Aunt Marge, and stuff like that, was all done practically, whereas probably in other Harry Potter movies, that stuff, like, if it was a different director, they probably would have done that all CGI, and it wouldn't have looked as good. And, like, even that movie had sleight of hand magic, so that's what I say a lot of these movies. If you, practical effects take more money and time, but the end result almost always comes out looking way better than digital effects. Yeah, but this time they didn't even have computers to do digital effects, so they had to improvise, but it worked, so. And, this was printed September 26, 1999. And then, here's Last Crusade. I think this must have been in the sun, because you probably can't see it on the camera, but the red is a little lighter there than it is on there. You see it a little bit, but not too much. It's very slight, but I've noticed it, so. Probably because this one was in a different home, so. I remember I had found these 2 on their own, and then I happened to find this one later, so. I actually found this one, and I think my 2 Towers extended VHS on the same day. Along with, I think, my British tapes of Men in Black and Harry Potter. No, Men in Black and Spider-Man. I got the Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone British VHS later. You can read that there. This tape was printed on September 25th, 1999. I think it said, yeah. Let me just pause for a second. Okay, yeah, sorry, I just had to stretch my leg a bit, because when I'm in this position to film, my legs start to go to sleep, so... Yeah, sort of gotta stretch it out, sorry about that. Now here's E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial, yet another Spielberg movie, so... Spielberg movies are very popular in here. Yeah, so... Great movie. I am ashamed to say, I actually did not cry while watching E.T. People will think I don't have a heart if I do that, but I cried a lot of things. But for some reason, E.T. is a masterpiece. I don't know why I didn't cry at E.T. Most people cry, and they think I'm crazy when I say I didn't, but I just happened to not cry, so... Let's see when this tape was put out. 1996. Remember a bunch of these widescreen tapes I got at a store, a local record store, different than the other one, but that I got the Star Wars stuff from. They had a bunch of tapes here that were donated by a local movie maker. I know Close Encounters, E.T., and then I think that one, and that one. They were donated by that movie maker. I think they also had Poseidon Adventure and Planet of the Apes, and stuff like that too. And so there's no print date on there. This one says it's G in Canada. I know later it was reclassified as PG in Canada. So, next one you already saw in my Terminator Collection video, so I'm only going to go over a little bit. This is the Terminator Collection letterbox version. This is a 1995 release. I like how it's gold. I remember my uncle always had the silver one. Yeah, but this is the Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day. And the Terminator Collection. 2 tapes, they're in the same. Yeah, there's the Terminator and Terminator 2. It was just convenient that Live Entertainment, which later became Artisan Entertainment, at the time in the 90s distributed the libraries of both Coralco and Hemdale, so that back in the 90s, so that was lucky on their part that they actually were able to do that set because I know that lots of some companies have sort of always come together to do Terminator sets on DVD and stuff. Like I know Warner Brothers has a current Terminator 6 film collection because, while MGM owns the first Terminator now, their home video distribution is through Warner Brothers, who has the North American distribution rights to Terminator 3 and 4, so they just had to get 2 of them from Paramount and 1 of them from Studio Canal, and they had a set, so... Studio Canal with Lionsgate. Then here's Aliens, the widescreen series release. I know there was an Alien special edition of this, but I just have the regular Aliens. Actually, I do have Aliens on Laserdisc, but it is, ironically, that's full screen. That's just the original bare bones, full screen, original Laserdisc release. It'd be nice to find a special edition of that, like the special edition box set of Aliens on Laserdisc. But, yeah, but this is Aliens on VHS, the widescreen. Yeah, Aliens, I've only ever seen Aliens. I've never seen any of the other Alien movies, but Aliens is a masterpiece. Same director as the Terminator movies. This is printed on December 23rd, it's either 23rd or 29th, 97. I think it's 23rd. So yeah, December 23rd, 1997. Let me know if you or anyone you know was printed on the print dates of any of these tapes that I have. Next 2 are movies that are not Spielberg movies, but are produced by Amblin Entertainment. This is Men in Black. This was the first of the Columbia TriStar widescreen series before it became a regular thing. See, it's sort of... I'll grab the Close Encounters to show it. See, it's the same sort of font banner, but this one has like a border and everything around it. Whereas this one's just the generic Men in Black looking tape, so... If you're just going by the spine, you wouldn't have been able to tell the difference that this was even the widescreen. You had to look at the front. Or the back, which is in really small print. And of course, this does include the Will Smith music video as a bonus, so... There's the tape right here. And the print date on here is... Let's see. October 30th, 1997. I got a lot of... 1997 had a lot of interesting releases, so... I remember actually at our local science center in my city, like a kids hands-on science center. They used to have they had this. I used to go to summer camps there. They had like we used to get to hang around the exhibits. They had an exhibit there where they had like a bunch of old sort of TV stuff, like old things. There was like a VHS cabinet. It wasn't like a VHS shelf. It wasn't. You weren't able to watch them. They were just glued in there. But all the tapes on the shelf were 1997 releases, which I thought was kind of cool. And here's the other one that I said from the same time. This is the Mask of Zorro. Great movie. I think I like about some of these, like, I know some of the titles that were catalog titles that they put in this Columbia TriStar widescreen series would have, like, the widescreen promo and other sort of stuff. Whereas these ones, which were released as new releases at the time in this widescreen series format, like this one, or Godzilla, or Men in Black, or even like new editions of new editions of older titles, like the Close Encounters, especially Collector's Edition, or the Ghostbusters. At least they would open exactly the same as the full screen copy, which I thought was quite good. So, because I like previews, so because technically it is the same release, just in widescreen. So, yeah, I wish they'd actually make another Zorro movie with Antonio Banderas. That could be cool. I didn't see The Legend of Zorro though. Apparently, it's really bad. So, not really bad, but like it's not as good as the first one. It's more made for kids. Yeah, I used to like this as a kid. This is written November 9th, 1998. Yeah, I used to like this a lot as a kid. I still love it now. This is, if you haven't seen this movie, definitely check it out. It is a fun romp. Definitely a lot of great action and adventure in that movie. Here's one. This is The Matrix, the special widescreen edition. This is the collector's edition. Spine, other spine, the top, and the back. This is sort of the era, starting with like Mask of Zorro, you'll see. This is the era when even there's still widescreen VHS tapes, DVDs were starting to come out and be popular and have special features and stuff. There's some special features after the movie. What is concept? Segments of memorable kung fu fighting lobby shootout scenes. 26 minutes of extras, so that's kind of cool. If you didn't have the DVD, you still have a DVD player, you still could have gotten some extras. And then this was printed on January 6, 2000. That's cool. And then we have also, this is another movie I haven't seen, but I heard is one you have to see. This is The Iron Giant. I know this is directed by Brad Bird, who also directed The Incredibles and Ratatouille and Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. So he's a great director. I don't know why I haven't seen this again. This is when they say you gotta see this movie, so I'm going to watch it eventually. I'm probably going to watch it on this, actually. Yeah. I watched a movie today, actually. I went to go see the movie Ron's Gone Wrong. The kid from that movie, I know, looks just like the kid from, like, the main character, Barney. He looks just like, the kid from The Iron Giant, which I thought was kind of interesting. This was printed on November 6, 1999. And then the last three we have are, the Lord of the Rings trilogy. The Lord of the Rings the special extended VHS editions, which are in widescreen, so I'm showing these here. Yeah, if you want to watch the Lord of the Rings, watch the extended versions. I might have to get a new copy of this because it is kind of falling apart a bit, and I know I actually put the first part in a VCR, like, near the concerning Hobbit scene near the beginning. I accidentally put it in a VCR that kind of ate part of the tape, and it won't function correctly, so I might have to find another copy of this, but it looks very worn. It was quite worn when I got it, though. I got this one actually about 10 years ago, so. These are all the American prints. In fact, actually, what's weird is that I have all the extended ones as American printings. The theatrical versions I have the Canadian printings, so, which don't have any previews. These ones don't have many previews too. They're just like go online to newlinecinema.com and then like a DVD promo, and then that's it. And this one does include it's a special extended VHS edition specifically created for home viewing. Over 30 minutes of new and extended scenes were added by director Peter Jackson, including new music composed by Howard Shore. And it also features a bonus featurette, A Day in the Life of a Hobbit, which I think was part of the appendices on the DVD. And it also has a trailer for The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, which would come in theaters the next month after this tape was released. And I know these have two different print dates on here. So the first one was printed on October 2nd, 2002. And this one was printed October 9th, 2002. Yeah, I can't believe the first Harry Potter and the first Lord of the Rings are almost 20 years old. Like, next month, like, not even, in just, almost, in nearly 2 weeks, the first Harry Potter will officially be 20 years old. And the first Lord of the Rings will be on December 19th will be officially 20 years old, so. Shrek already turned 20 years old back in May, and next May, Spider-Man, the first one, turns 20 years old, which is really hard to believe. Along with Attack of the Clones. The early 2000s in movies. like the late 90s, early 2000s are when the fandom movies sort of really started to come out. Like ones that are sort of like the start of what the movie industry is now. Like I think Blade, when that came out, that really sort of propelled that level of hype because that was the first. It's like while there's other kinds of movies, superhero movies were the big thing of talking, especially when the MCU started. That really caused that boom. But yeah, but the Lord of the Rings were some of the best movies of all time, I think. They're not my top 10, but like they're definitely in my top like 15 or 20. But it's hard to really rank them because like they're all like one big movie, so it's hard to put them all in like I had to put 3 movies in the same spot. I can't actually have like I know you're not technically released 3 different releases, but it's one story, so yeah. But yeah, this is I love the Two Towers. I love this sort of red color of the Two Towers. And unfortunately, this one and the next one don't have any bonus features, but that's okay. This one has 43 minutes of new and extended scenes added by director Peter Jackson. So these are quite long, but these movies are quite long, but they're worth it. If you have not seen Lord of the Rings, watch them. I know these 2 tapes both have the same print date, and that is November 11th, 2003. So. And then here is The Return of the King. I remember I did an unboxing of this a while ago, but it was on Instagram. It wasn't. I already did like an in-depth review. It was on Instagram instead of YouTube. If you don't follow my Instagram, by the way, it's a public thing because I mostly post entertainment things and like celebrity birthday shoutouts and even stuff like my life too, and like my celebrity like my friends' birthdays and stuff. Alex Loves Movies 2001. I did this review back in 2018. So yeah, it's a public account, so if you're not following it and you like movies, you like what I post here, I post a lot of the same stuff over there. So, I love the blue on this one too. And this is the newest widescreen tape I have. It's a specialty on the VHS edition with 50 minutes of new and extended scenes added by director Peter Jackson. Of the theatrical versions, Fellowship of the Ring is my favorite. Of the extended editions, which are the ones to watch, Return of the King is my favorite. Because I know that the theatrical Return of the King was a bit of a mess. Because of the fact that they took out the death of Saruman and stuff, and there was a lot of stuff that they had to cut out. But the extended edition is the way to watch them. Like, I remember my mom first watched Lord of the Rings. She liked them, but she wasn't really marveling about them. Even though even the theatrical versions are quite marvelous. And I think she thought she wasn't, like, really into them. Once I got her to watch the extended editions, actually we went to see them in the theater, I think, later. She loved them even more. So, and both these tapes were printed on January 17th, 2005. So, yeah. They even had the black reels. That's how you know it's a newer tape. So, thank you guys for watching. Oh, actually, I forgot to show one. Sorry, I completely forgot. I should have shown this in between Matrix and the Iron Giant. Sorry. This is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, widescreen video collector's edition. Bought this for, like, I think $3 at HalCon. I think it was, and it has some cool stuff in it. Though, unfortunately, there's a documentary on it that, like, is the whole, like, it's, like, 15 minutes before the whole movie starts. You gotta fast forward through. This is an Art of Episode 1 extra book. It's quite nice. Got a little film cell, and let me just put the light on, like, put it up to, put it up to a light. It's Anakin and his mother talking. And, here's the tape itself. This is widescreen. I do have the full screen of this one as well. It got some cool Star Wars savings inside, but this tape actually has a print date of February 15th, 2000. And some cool special offers. Since there was no DVD of Episode 1 at the time, if you wanted a pure experience of Episode 1, you had to either get this or you had to import the Laserdisc from Japan. So, see. Anyways, that's my widescreen VHS collection. This is Picture Man 2001 signing out. Peace.